領域展開。無料空所。
Alright guys, that's it for South of Midnight. I meant to finish this game way sooner. Honestly, this game shouldn't even have took me this long, but I was splitting myself between this, a couple other games I was playing at the same time, and then I was also started back working on some videos that I kind of put on like hold for a while. So between all that, I was like slowing myself down a lot on this game when I shouldn't have been. But it's a great game though. If you guys love story narrative driven games, then yeah. And also, if you're wondering why I'm back at the ending scene, then I just hit continue and it led me back here. So I was like, no, just pause and just start from here. All right, so it was a fun game though. It was a really fun game. I really enjoyed the story. Honestly, this is really what I came for. I was really interested to see where the story's gonna go, you know, being in the deep south and learning all these folklores of these characters. And you know, I've learned so much from this game. Honestly, I never knew about this sort of folklore before. I never knew about these mythical creatures and beings that were living in this world. Kushima, you know, Huggy Molly, you know, there's so many characters that was like interesting lore and backstories to them. And I really love the characters overall. Hay's a great character. She's hilarious, man. She's fucking hilarious, man. You know, she definitely goes through a lot of progression through the story. She starts off as being like, you know, ready, you know, kind of like, you know, I say your typical teenager, you know, ready, you know, ready to move on, ready to hit the college, you know, kind of disappointed her mom doesn't spend enough time with her. And, you know, not really seeing the bigger picture of things, you know, being a little narrow-minded a bit. And then, you know, as she comes to learn that she's a weaver, she gets the powers, she grows, you know, she looks for her mom, she never gives up. You know, even the time she thought she almost gives up, she reminds herself of what it is that she was going for in the first place. And she also continues to help others along the way. So I think those are very respectable qualities that Hazel Flood has, that it helps her be a better person, also encourages her, you know, to continue to help others along the way. And I honestly can't wait. Well, I don't know if there's gonna be a sequel to this game, but I'd love to see a sequel to this game. Alright, like I said, the story was great. I love the story. Now, the gameplay is a whole different story. Alright, like I said, I already knew what the sort of game was gonna kind of be like. I played Kingdom Bridge of Spirits, and it was kind of the same thing. It's not story wise, but like gameplay wise. You know, the enemies were, well, actually, I'll take it back, because Kingdom Bridge of Spirits was actually kind of more variety. But this game had different varieties of enemies too. But for the like the little minions though, like the little small minions and stuff, they try to like increase and try to make little big enemies and switch things up. But for the like the actual format of the game, where actually fighting wise, it was kind of samey. I was a little disappointed. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, I guess a little pretty disappointed honestly. When it came down to the powers and abilities and upgrades, because while her powers were cool, it was unique because I ain't never seen powers quite like that before. I just thought the possibilities were out there, you know. Like, yeah, being able to stun people is nice and everything. Being able to set little explosions, ground explosions are also great. But like, if she can make a blanket out of her weaver abilities, then what's stopping her from making something like a bat, a knife, a scythe? Like, I'm just saying, like, if she can make stuff like that, I'm not sure. I can't remember what the conditions were for her to be able to like construct like these sort of things, like construct these little items with her powers. I don't know if she has like imagining in her mind to make it or what, but there's just a lot of potential for it though. And I think that honestly, they didn't really tap into their potential what they could have, because there was way too many things they could have done with it. Yeah, like I said, it was like her using the two little mini like size that she was using was great. Yeah, but I wanted more that came to the gameplay wise. Then also the enemies, while they was adding different enemies during the game, I felt that outside the boss battles, which were really fun, I just felt that the actual like it just got repetitive very quickly for me, honestly. But like I said, I expected that. So I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm surprised, because this was always gonna be kind of very story driven. Even though I can't even remember which mode I chose. I think I chose the I think I chose the hardest difficulty for this game. I'm pretty sure I did. But anyways, it was like, yeah, it's like, nah, I'm playing, I'm fighting. And then I'm probably getting around to like chapter 5, 6, and I was like by around chapter 5, I'm like, okay, I see. Like, these enemies are not gonna change. Like, this little style of format is not gonna really change when it comes to the fighting system. And you just, you know, in a little small arena and around surrounded a little corruption, and basically you be fighting little ghost enemies, and then you might get the big guy with the one arm, and then you might get the ones to the ground, and then you might get the flying ones. But after that, they ain't really like try to encourage any other types of variety of like enemies. After that, they just kind of like stop. Now, of course, they do try to increase the difficulty of them, but they don't really get to the point where I feel like I feel the need to really try too hard. Even when I die sometimes, that's just due to my own sloppiness and not paying attention, and I end up dying to like something stupid crazy. But and then, you know, other than that, though, I mean, I really love the story, but it's just the gameplay in this game was really lacking. But I feel like that wasn't really their like focus when it came to this game. Like, of course, gameplay is important because at the end of the day, this is still a video game at heart. But still, it's like I think they were really more focused on the story than where gameplay. But gameplay was something they were trying to, you know, put into it. But I don't think the budget for this game is really the biggest either, because this game is not long at all. Honestly, I could have beat this game in a weekend. I just didn't consistently play it back to back like hours at a time. So, you know, if I can beat Spider-Man 2 in like a weekend, guys, I know for a fact I could have beat this game probably less than a weekend, probably like in a day. One day, a day, or a little bit longer, because I mean this game just wasn't that long. You consistently play it, you know. But if you're taking time, and even if you take time and bits and pieces between it, even then it still wouldn't take you no more than maybe a week at most. So like I was like kind of already near the end. I was near the end of this game, and I just like stopped. That's what hold up everything. That's why like my videos kind of like started going a little eerie. You guys saw the playthrough, you saw the Mirror's Edge video come out, you probably like Mirror's Edge. Like, yeah, like I played it at my own time at some point, like 6 months ago. I played Mirror's Edge, beat it, had a fun time, love the art style, love the music. I was enjoying it, having a blast playing that game. And I had the cutscenes for it. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna throw that up there because I don't have the rest of the footage right now. For not the footage, but I had the footage for South Midnight enough to upload, but it wasn't edited, so I was like, you know, we're just gonna hold off on that for now, because I had the footage but I don't have it edited. So you guys probably hear me mention it in Hi-Fi Rush, honestly, because it's like it was also during the album when I made that video. I was working on that. I was also working on that during that time as well. So it's a fun game though, really fun. If you guys love the story, narrative driven stories, and you love a good story, then I highly suggest you play this game, alright? If you love the South, you know, Southern stories or Southern folklore, and then you would definitely love this story, because South Midnight is definitely providing all that, right? All the characters bring something to the story. You know, every character has their own reasons for doing things, why they do things, how they do things. I just wish we could have expanded a little bit more upon the gameplay wise. Upgrades were pretty good, you know, they were pretty fun and all go well, but I just feel like there was so much more. Her Weaver abilities feel like they just have a lot of potential. You can make a blanket and fly through the sky with that. Now I don't see why you couldn't just make a bat, or you can't just make a knife. If it's something conventional that everyday humans can use, then I don't see why she couldn't make it. You know, like if she could make a blanket to help her fly through the air, then why she couldn't just make like her own little, maybe like well, I don't know, maybe a wingsuit would be like kind of a little too elaborate. But if it's something simple, then maybe, you know, it's just a lot. Like even a sword it could have done. She could have made herself some dual swords. She could have made herself a staff. She could have made herself a spear. It's a lot she could have done with her powers. I just felt like they just didn't want to really tap into that potential, because I don't know if that, like I said, I don't know if the budget just didn't qualify for that. And then with this art style as well, I feel like using that art style, and trying to incorporate all those sort of different powers probably also would increase the budget a lot. So I understand if they didn't really have, you know, the funds to really go that far with it, but I feel like they ever do a sequel, they should indeed look into trying to expand her powers a lot, because there's a lot. I'm sure the Southern folklore is probably like huge. It's probably like so many folklore stories that we probably really don't know about, haven't even touched in this game. You know, this probably like scratching the surface if anything, because most of the time with the folklore stories, there's a lot of them. You know, different cultures, there's a lot of different folklore stories. Some you hear about, some you will never hear about. Some of them so obscure you will be surprised they even exist in the first place. So, you know, South Midnight though, honestly, if I had to rate it on the scale from 1 to 10, y'all already know me, man. Honestly, it's sitting at 8 for me, 8 out of 10. It would have been better. I just wanted more out of gameplay, honestly. I just felt like I was honestly repeating myself after a while. And also, I felt the same when I was playing Kingdom British Spirit. That's just, you know, two different games, great games, both of them, honestly. But that's like the game I feel like I think about the most when I play this game, because it's literally the same feeling I get from this game and that game. But I love both games. Don't get me wrong, guys. I just feel like these two games are just, you know, they just feel really similar to one another. Maybe it's just me. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know many people who, honestly can't say I know many people who play Kingdom and the British Spirits. I've seen people play it, but I'm not sure. I don't think I know anybody. Nah, I don't think I know anybody. But actually, I knew one person. But that was about it, though. That's like one of those kind of under the radar sort of games. And I seen people like maybe mention it sometimes, but most times it's like one of those games that like people kind of forget about, and then they be surprised to hear about it. And it's like, oh, I love this game. You know, I love the animation, I love the art style. You know, yeah, I feel the same thing about this game too. South of Midnight has a great art style for it, and it has great voice acting. Man, everybody's characters feel so alive. They feel so real. You know. It's honestly great though. It's honestly great. So if you guys haven't played South of Midnight and you love story, narrative, you know, you love video games that are very story driven, then this is the game for you. All right. So with all that being said, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you got your video. If I like videos, so I decided the video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below on Spectral, and tell me if you ever played South of Midnight, and tell me what are your thoughts of it. And if you have not played South of Midnight, then what is your feeling about the game? You know, from the trailers. All right, let's go with that from the trailers. All right. And I can see you guys next time on Spectral. I'll probably, you know what? I can't even tell you guys because I'm doing so many different sort of video games right now. I can't even really guarantee which one might come up next. I did mention Hi-Fi Rush. That is one of the ones I am working on. So it may be Hi-Fi Rush, and then Expedition 33 came out. So I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure. Then I also have a couple retro videos that like I did, but I'm not gonna upload right now because I'm kind of saving those for a different reason. But yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. See you guys next time. Spectral. See ya.